Hello everyone, my name is Relax and Panic, and this is another reaction to the Monogatari series, second season. It is episode 14, and we're still going strong about a snake, Medusa, whatever you want to call her. So, you know what to do. If you want to see the reaction, just go down into my descriptions. You will find a link, replace the circumflex.parts with real dots, and enjoy. Once you've done, feel free to come back here and hear out my thoughts about this episode. So, see you soon. For those that came back, welcome back. Now, there was an interesting episode. I like the change in her. It was very entertaining in many ways, although one might say that's a dangerous thing to do. So we started off still about the cute thing that we had in the last episode, the discussion with Shinobu, where Shinobu said, "Good for you that you are cute." In this way of, because you are cute, you get through life, you get people liking you, doing stuff for you, and so on and so forth. And even Karen it wasn't Karen, it was the little sister, pointed it out that this helps Nadeko with her life a lot, because she's cute, you're just cute, cute, all the time. So, yes, it's true, and it brings the question, can you rely only on that, you know? We discussed it a bit last time, but the question is in there, will people, because that's what Nadeko brought up, will people like you even if you're not cute? So what do they like you for? That's a really good question. Do they like you for your personality or because you're cute? And is being cute a part of your personality as well? It's not just the outside looks, it's the way that you use it and behave like. And we see it with Nadeko when she lost her braids, she lost her hair there. And we had the inside look of her standing before the teacher saying, "I will do as always, I will look down and I will say I'm sorry." And you know, she was using her cuteness in the past. I discussed this the last time. I'm not really a fan of people actively using the fact that they are cute for their benefit. Although, admittedly, we have to say, we all are using the tools we are given for our benefits. So if there are people who are, let's say, impressively strong, who have who go training a lot, you know, although they didn't get it by nature, they work for it, they will tend to use it as well and put themselves into position. People who are clever, who are intelligent, automatically use their intelligence, use this for their benefits, and so on and so forth. So we all kind of use what we are either born with, genetically, or which we trained for. As example, if we are really good at talking, we are using it. So I'm not 100% sure if it is right to look down on someone who uses his or her good looks actively. The main difference might be that someone who trained or something, like going to the gym or training to be a good speaker, did something for it, while people who just by nature look good just take benefits from something they got for free. However, those who got this will tell you very likely those good looks don't come automatically, they do stuff for it as well. You know, like doing their hair and whatever. I'm not so much into it, so I don't know enough about it, okay? So I will stop here. That's one thing. What was interesting, pointed out by our little fire sister, is the fact that Nadeko chose someone to love, to be on the safe side, someone to love she can never get, because he is far away. He's like in those tragic romances, the one that you aspire for, that you want to have, but you can never get. Thus, you are endlessly in a tragic romance, but in a good way, you know. And it was pointed out even more, there were possibly boys or maybe girls who wrote love letters to her, who wanted to be with her, and she just could deny them without thinking much by saying, "I love someone else." It's an easy way to wiggle out of all these possible problems of romance and love in your younger years. even in your older years. As we all know, it's just problematic. So I can see it. That's a very clever way of doing it. Although I guess it is not something she did actively in the beginning. It was something that happened to be, or maybe subconsciously chosen. But it is an interesting way of love, and that's what this series is about. Different kinds of love. And so, nice to point this out. I like it. I hadn't thought about this one at all. Yeah, it's an alibi love, you could say, but still a true one. She really loves him. So that was something I did not see. Well done. And then she got cut her hair and exploded in this moment, and especially later on in school. And I really like this scene because it is this incredible change of the shy girl to an incredibly aggressive and mean girl. You know, just blurring out, just throwing out everything you think without holding back, just being mean, you know? So telling everyone what you think of them, which, as far as I've got it, almost true. You know, it's all what she thinks about them, so it is true for her. It doesn't have to mean that it is true in general, that, as example, the teacher doesn't do his work and push it to other ones, but it is how she perceives it. And thus she never said it before, he continued on doing so. So I like it. Really well done. The change in behavior is great, and I seriously like this kind of way what she is. In general, if people are honest, they are on the one hand more entertaining, and in many ways more true to themselves. And you can, once you are able to see through the shouting, that it is not meant negatively, not at you bad. And if you just see it as realism, they just say what they think, so you are not offended by it, then it helps you a lot, because then you learn more about yourself, how you appear to the others in their point of view, because they finally tell you, and then that's when you can work with it and you can get a better relationship. While if someone is shy, you are like, oh yeah, I'm fine with them, they like me, they are so nice, so I must be nice, you know. While on the inside, those people are boiling, and they just can't tell you, and you possibly continue to go down the wrong lane, and you are doing the wrong thing to them and with them, but they will never tell you, and they will just don't like you, but never show you. And that's a weird thing to do. If there are people who are nice to you at the front, but possibly punch a dagger into your back. So those are way worse, you know, because you are surprised by them later on. It's bad for you. So I like people in general who are honest, which is not always easy, as we all know. So, but I like that was a great episode, a great moment. I'm not sure how much of that what we've seen in this school really happened, however. I'm asking myself right now if those characters, those people who are just shown as white with the question marks inside, if they are really there, or if it... I had that in the last episode, theorizing how much of that really happened, you know, or if they are just put in her imagination, what she would do, what people would be around her. Because when we had the class where she was shouting to, we had two switching pictures all the time. We had the one where the class was in and she was shouting, and then a close up where she was in at the desk, but it seemed like there was no one else in class. Later on, the people were drawn into the back, like they moved away from her shouting, which is fitting. And then I wasn't so sure anymore if they're not really there, because we just see the front desks, you know? So I'm not sure. It might be that the class members were there and she really did say those things to them. Could be interesting in the next days, let's say it this way. Or they were not there and she was just like having her imagination running wild, going into the class and saying, if you would be here now, then I would say those things to you, and then shout at the empty class to get it out of her system. which is possibly good for her as well. However, if they were there or not, it doesn't matter, because I think in this moment she learned something valuable. She learned those things being inside her, being relieved is possibly a good thing. And maybe she will change a little bit away from the shy person she was. Hopefully not as much as we've seen in the beginning of the arc, because there was a bit too much with killing people, you know? And we all know what happens when you suppress those feelings too long, and you will become a cat. Okay, last but not least, we had the snake bringing her into Koyomi's house and saying, I nullify all barriers, which is interesting in many ways. I think he said it when they entered the house, to saying like, we can go into the house. There's a thing, does he mean there was a barrier in the house or at the house? So was it somehow protected from, as example, Shinobu, or maybe a protection set in the past by Oshido Meme? Just options. That's one thing, by saying he nullifies all barriers. But there's another thing. He is kind of mixed with Nadeko now. He's becoming part of her and influencing her. And he nullifies all barriers, as he said. And her barrier was that she was too shy and too holding back and not saying what she thinks. And this barrier was nullified, and then she blurred out. He even admitted that's what he did. But he puts it into this very nice sentence, which is very fitting. So, he nullified the barrier of holding back by being kind. You know, there are sometimes things you don't say to people, because it's not kind to do it, and it doesn't benefit them or you. Truth might be nice, but sometimes it's better to hold it back, you know? Especially if you want something from them. But there's another barrier we have, and this is where I'm going for. The barrier, if you're angry, to go from emotional anger to physical. So, if you can't get what you want, what do? As example, do you punish someone for it? Do you punch or kick or try to kill someone because you're angry? That's another barrier which we have, and it's a good one. You know, it's one that I think we kind of learn to have. I'm not sure if we have it from nature ourselves from the start, but I'm pretty sure we learn it as kids to have this barrier. So if you look at very young kids, they tend to have the phase where they are hitting everything for testing, you know, to see what am I allowed to do and what not. And then they get taught, don't hit, don't kick your brother, don't slap your mother, don't whatever, you know. Don't do such things. It's not allowed to do. It's not nice to do. We tend to say it's not nice to do. So that's a barrier we set up, which is a good one, because let's say we wouldn't, everyone on the street would hit everyone all the time. Like, I wanted to go into the bus first, punch. There are people who do that mainly when they're drunk, because it lowers inhibitions and it lowers barriers. So, just like the snake, it lowers barriers. So, I think this is where we're going for. Another barrier falling, which would, however, mean, although there is a lot of her there, the snake is influencing her in a lot of ways. So, let's see where we are heading. And if she will feed this little scroll to him. It's interesting that Koyomi's there, however. Nice cliffhanger, by the way. I'm such a fan of cliffhangers. I asked myself if there was a barrier around the house. Maybe he felt how it fell. Although I'm sure there was none. I guess there was none. He was just there at the right time. So, next episode. The two of them talking about it and possibly she snapping. Looking forward to it. And until then, you know what to do. As always, feel free to comment, like and subscribe. And I will see you the next time. My name is Relax and Panic. Goodbye and out.